Well, we were looking for a broom around here. I guess we're really clean people because we don't have one. We got a vacuum cleaner. You want us to bring that out? The Rangers got the brooms out today. We'll talk about it next as they sweep the A's on the DLLS Rangers podcast. For the fifth time this season, the Rangers sweep a series, and this one feels extra good, I think, in part because it's against a division rival. Granted, the team that entered the series in last place in the division. That said, you love to beat those division rivals. Hi there, and welcome into the DLLS Sports Studios. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. Me, John Radigan, Abby Jones here.
Hello.
We got Ryan Vaughters helping us tonight, and we appreciate him so much. He will keep you going with all things graphical, and we're awfully glad to have him here for that. We're glad to have you two. Keep chatting along with us. Yes, it was a sweep, Abs, and you and I were talking about it a lot during the game. It's one of those edge-of-your-seat type of games that I just love.
Yeah, it was quite the matchup on the mound. And what is it, Wednesday today? I didn't think anybody would pencil this matchup being one of the more exciting ones, but I was on the edge of my seat kind of the whole time. So many elements to get into with tonight's game, and a few points that it could have took a turn for the worse maybe. So we've got a lot to talk about. It's going to be fun. I Love Misty says that they do not have room. They're in a hotel. I said it's there in spirit because we don't have one.
No, we don't, but we do have the spirit of a sweep working here. And, yeah, that's what you have to do, right? The Rangers have now won 5 of 6 since the All-Star break, 7 of 8 overall. And actually, of those 7 wins, 5 of them have come against, actually 4 of them have come against the first-place teams, right? The Tigers, who are and were in first place. The Astros, those two teams are both 60 wins or more on the season. And so to get those wins against those teams and then to do what you need to do against the last-place team, which is to say sweep it, that is exactly what the Rangers need to do. 1, to get back into the race. 2, Chris Young said earlier in the week, they need to be going in the right direction for these final couple of weeks in July in order for us to be buyers. Well, I think they're sending a clear message to management. We want you to buy.
I think you're missing maybe the most important part of these wins. They're against AL West division opponents, minus the Tigers.
Right.
The Astros and the A's. Yeah, I mean, this is important baseball. Every game is important, yes, but there's something about after the All-Star break. The second half is a sprint because you are hoping to be a contending team. The Rangers are setting themselves up in a way to do so. It is early still. There's a lot of baseball left to be played, but Corey Seager said it himself. You want to start the second half off right. Going, what do we say like a really successful homestand would be for them?
Well, we thought that 6-3 was really good. Right. They're certainly on pace now for better than 6-3.
Right.
If they take 2 out of 3 from the Braves this weekend, well, they've got a 7-2 homestand,
which is doable.
Absolutely doable.
And
a sweep is doable. Right?
A sweep is doable.
And we'll get into that Braves series coming up a little bit later on in the program. And we've also got lots of activity on this team happening over the course of the last couple of days, really, with call-ups and so forth, guys coming off the injured list. We'll get to all that as we continue to talk this through. But first, we start with this really fun series sweep because, as somebody says already in the chat there, they're doing it in a different way every single night, and tonight's was no different. All of them, though, have started with really good to great starting pitching. And Patrick Corbin answered the bell tonight.
Patrick Corbin, I feel like we've used the word pleasant surprise a lot this season because there have been some key guys. Patrick Corbin has been a reliable starter for this club. What he did tonight, let's take a look at it. 5 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, 69 pitches. He started out so efficient in this game. I mean, there's multiple innings where he was in the single digit on pitch count. He really didn't scuffle too much until that last inning where they decided to pull him, and I think it was the right call in the end. We thought maybe we could stretch him out a little bit more. Ended up being the right call, but Patrick Corbin has been just really reliable for this club. And when you have a starting staff that has the lowest ERA in baseball, and you add reliable on top of that, it's a pretty dangerous matchup.
Well, and I think the 5 hits on Patrick's ledger tonight, and again, only 1 run. So, but those 5 hits, I think, paint a picture that's a little bit unfair. Right. 3 of them were back-to-back hits in that inning where he was yanked out of the game. And it was funny because and they all came with 2 outs. Right? There were 2 outs. The 9th place hitter and then Jacob Wilson both made outs to start that 6th inning. And at that point, we were sitting there talking about, wow, wouldn't it be great if he could go the 7th? And at that point,
is this his best outing of the season?
Yes, yeah. It was super realistic at that point. He still ended up leaving with only 70 pitches. So it wasn't about the pitches. But as soon as he allowed that hit, especially the double, I think the double to Langoliers, the double to Kurtz, that was the one where you just go and you know what, heads up base running on that play by the A's because they got Rooker all the way home on that play, and so good for them. Rangers had their own heads up base running coming up later in the game, more of which we'll talk about later. But as it pertains to Patrick Corbin, just love everything that he has done really all year long. Another start where he doesn't even allow 2 runs, much less, more than 2 runs.
Right. And I saw this stat during the broadcast as well. It's 14 consecutive games that he's offered the club 5 or more innings.
Great.
And that's, how important is that in this stretch of baseball? Another thing I want to point out, Rangers starters since the All-Star break, 5 starts, 3-0 record, 29 innings pitched, a 1.2 ERA, 9 strikeouts to innings pitched. So it's very efficient.
To strike out an inning, basically. And the reality is that Patrick, of course, didn't figure in the decision tonight. He pitched like a winning pitcher. In this case, the Rangers didn't score enough runs until later in the game, so he's a no decision tonight. But and it was similar in a way to last night, where I was so happy they scored in the half inning right after we knew Jacob deGrom was coming out after 6, right? And they scored that Simi hit that home run last night in that bottom of the 6th inning to basically ensure that his guy, Jacob deGrom, was going to get the victory. Nobody was able to do that tonight for Patrick Corbin, but the Rangers were able to, as we've talked about, win it in such a varied fashion.
It was good baseball.
First of all, that walk by Wyatt Langford, I was really impressed with. I mean, that kid Perkins came out there, and he's a strike thrower, man. Mm-hmm. He's out there throwing strikes. He's a big, strong kid, man. He's sweating all over the place, and he's throwing strikes. And so he doesn't walk many people. And so for Wyatt to have worked that walk, that was huge. Then here comes Jonah Heim, and it was funny. Yass and I were watching it, and Jonah, he hits that ball straight up in the air, and he flings his bat away. And I told Abs, it's essentially what I did with my pen. I mean, I was keeping score. I didn't really fling it away, but I looked straight down. I'm ready to write P6 in the book. Yep. And she's screaming, hold up. Heck? Yeah. So miscommunication. Young guys. It falls between the shortstop and the left fielder. And that's Soderstrom and left. And, of course, Wilson as the shortstop. And it looked to me, they're both young, but it looked to me like Jacob Wilson thought that Soderstrom called him off. I mean, he was ready to catch it, and I think he heard, and they'll say in postgame, and it doesn't really matter to us, the big part of that play was the hustle of Wyatt Langford.
Well,
I think Mike Bassick brought it up. What makes you think when that ball's popped up that you need to just get on your horse and be ready to score? And he did. He was on his horse, and he did score.
Wyatt Langford's wheels always amaze me.
Unbelievable.
Because you wouldn't think that tree trunky of a guy
No.
would have the speed. And I say that. Quadzilla, it's shocking that he would have that speed, but he does. But to your point, that was not a mistake, in my opinion, by Wilson. His dad played professional baseball for how many years? Shortstop position. I mean, that's just not a mistake that I think that Jacob Wilson would make. I think it's just miscommunication.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And again, it's two young players, but I have to think Wilson heard, or at least thought he heard, that Soderstrom was calling him off. But anyway, it not only bounced between them, but it bounced away just a little bit, kind of behind the two of them. And if it hadn't, I don't think Wyatt Langford, as fast as he is and as hard as he was hustling, I don't think he would have scored. It was that little time that it took to get the ball up, and it was a strike to home, but lo and behold, he really good slide, body out, arm in, and hand in, and he touched the plate. So that was the margin of victory.
Cranking.
Yeah, that was the margin of victory. Fantastic. Let's talk about Jon Gray, too. So great to see him. We talked to him on Monday. He was so anxious to get back in there. He's been saying for at least a month now he didn't care if he was a reliever or a starter. And even before the game today, we were talking to Boch, and he said, we are going to give him reps as a star. We're going to give him opportunities to start. But for now, they were thinking he's kind of going to be a long man. And then he comes in tonight, and he wasn't a long man at all. He's 2 innings. They didn't need him to be a long man. He did what they needed him to do. And look at the numbers. I mean, 2 innings, he allowed only 1 hit. He didn't have any walks or strikeouts, 15 pitches. So, his arm's fine. He says he's got a rubber arm anyway. He just got the job done. I mean, he was inducing ground balls during that time. He got a couple of flyouts in that time too. So really, really nice to see. Yeah, most of them actually were flyouts. 1 to right, 2 to right, 2 to center, and then a ground out to the third baseman. So I just love to see Jon back in there. The flowing locks, the long beard. His hair is as good as yours. Yeah, it's as good as yours.
Hey, you know how exciting this win is?
How exciting.
Kevin Gray is on vacation, tuned in to the chat right now.
How about that?
Kevin, hope you're having fun.
Appreciate you, KG. Yeah, no, we appreciate you. But he's a fan. KG's just a fan. He's a fan of all our teams. And then the other guy we got to mention before we get on and talk about more different things, we've got to mention Corey Seager. This dude is just, he starts the game with a double out of the gates, second hitter. Gets over to third. He got over to third base on a fly out by Marcus Semien, but got stranded there. That was in the first inning. And then he comes back up in the third. Just a bomb to straightaway center field. There have only been 6 balls hit out there as straightaway center field home runs this year, and he's hit 3 of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, back-to-back nights with a home run. He extends his on-base streak to 24 games, longest streak currently active in Major League Baseball. He's hitting .349 over this 24-game span. So Corey Seager clicking, I mean, it goes without saying.
Yeah, and it's a 24-game on-base streak. It's the longest in the American League, assuming Christian Yelich extended his again today. If he did, then he's at 29, and Corey's now at 24, or he'd have the longest in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, Yelich
this year. Yelich did. Yeah, he's 9. So anyway, Corey Seager is like Abby said, he's on what they call a heater, and when he gets on a heater, he stays on a heater for a long time. There's the numbers during the on-base streak, and they're unbelievable. That OPS, on-base plus slugging, up over 1,000 now. And prior to today's game, by the way, it was just under 1,000. But you get a double and you get a home run. That represents slug, and that's why the slug is all the way up to 722. RBIs, 22 of them in that stretch. Just fantastic numbers for Corey Seager in that 24-game stretch. And it all started on what? The 24th of June. So here we are.
What you did there.
Yeah, it's today. Today's not the 24th, is it? Tomorrow is, and they're off. So look at there, 24 to 24. That's 1 month. I mean, that is 1 month. Granted, the All-Star break was in there, but 1 month of getting a hit every game. So Corey Seager, fantastic. How did the Rangers get to this point where they're playing so well? We talk about that next on the DLLS Rangers podcast.
But first, you cannot see these incredible floors that we have in the main studio. This has carpet, but Empire Today has the floors, all of your floor needs at Empire Today, because they don't do other things. There's companies that try to specialize in everything, and when you're good at everything, you're not really great at one thing. Empire Today, great at one thing. You can use our code DLLS and get $350 off, which is a pretty decent discount for floors. They last a long time. Not had to purchase my own floors yet. Not a part of adulting I'm looking forward to.
No, it's not fun.
But if I did, I would go to Empire Today.
No doubt. They
Also,
make it fun.
You have a virtual option, so you can see your floors before you buy, because I would imagine that's not an easy fix if you don't like the color. So go to Empire Today. There's a free in-home estimate because of the show. So use the code DLLS, $350 off your purchase. Restrictions may apply. Visit Empire Today/DLLS for details.
All right, so whether you need a snapback, a fitted, a beanie, tees, any of them, trucker hats, Branded Bills has you covered with performance and style. Looking for some gear to make your brand stand apart from the crowd? That's not easy to do these days, but Branded Bills has you covered with custom headwear. This is what sets them apart, right? They will allow you to start your order, and their dedicated team will help you create the exact custom apparel that you are looking for, the custom apparel that you need. They've got partnership with 40 colleges and universities as part of their campus collection. That does include TCU, Texas Tech, and Texas, obviously, among 37 others. So check it out to see who they've got. Maybe they've got your school. Head to brandedbills.com and use the code BBDLLS for 15% off your first order.
Rads, are you a hat guy?
I'm not. I got too big of a head.
Oh.
Got a big old melon.
Boch.
I've never worn hats well, although you know what I've started to wear lately? I'll wear one in here one of these. Maybe I'll bring it up tomorrow. Started to wear the fedora.
Fedora?
Found a fedora that fit. I do whatever I can to try and keep some of the sun off my face. Look how red I am today.
I mean, I feel like that's a European. Are you?
Not the chapeau, not the the thing, but the fedora. I'll bring it tomorrow.
Bring it.
Yeah, it's a hot looking. Messes my hair up terribly. This is my whole career right here. I can't speak.
The moneymaker.
I can't. Yeah, I can't. I'm Rick Renner now. Yeah, that's Ryan. I can't speak. You don't want to just look at this thing right here. It's this. I've got anchor man hair. So.
I respect it.
Thank you.
Hair's important.
Yeah, it is. Oh, it's a big deal. All right, so how did the Rangers get here? How have they done this? I guess you could really say it in one word. Corey Seager, that's 2 words. Seager, 1 word. Seager. And really, you can and you can't. I mean, the Rangers have scored 41 runs in the 7th inning or later since June 24th.
That's the most impressive part.
5th in Major League Baseball. Prior to June 24th, I don't have the numbers in front of me, Abs, but prior to June 24th, they weren't scoring any runs in the 7th inning or later. Now, can you give Seager really all the credit? I don't know, but I know this. It's no coincidence that on June 24th, that streak started. Now, is it? So then you try to break down, okay, so why does that happen? Is it because guys feel more confident just knowing that Corey Seager is there to kind of help bolster this thing? Or is there just a real simple technical explanation that pitchers have to concentrate so hard on Corey Seager that their concentration or their focus or whatever slips a little bit with everybody else. I suppose it's a combination of both those things, but the reality is we said it the whole time Corey Seager was hurt. And then even he was a little slow getting back to being who he normally is, right? And even during that time, we were going, look, this thing goes as Corey Seager goes. He gets hot, everybody gets hot, and it appears to have happened. There
is something to your star player playing to the best of his ability. I think it just gets the guys fired up. Like, he jolts an offense. But the Rangers have won 24 of their last 39 games back to June 7th. So things are starting to click. But again, I really think it's to the point that we kind of mentioned the other day on they're not focusing on individual success nor failures, and it's more of team.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think the Kevin Pillar comment might be
the best thing that ever happened.
Right.
Little fire under him. We'll show you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd kind of like to check out the date on that, but I could see that being, when we look back at the season as a whole, like a turning point, because I think they were really taken aback by the comments, and I think they wanted to show him, you think that's what, that's what you think of us? We'll show you.
Hey, we got a super chat from Leon. I love Misty. Thank you, Leon. We appreciate it very much. And how about the wild card race? Let's update it. Yeah. The Rangers are only one game behind the final wild card spot. One game. Right? That's the kind of ground they're making up right now. Now, and we're going to get to more about this a little later. The Astros just got done sweeping the Arizona Diamondbacks, so that's kind of a pain. But to your point, Leon, right now the Rangers are totally in the thick of this thing. Boston won tonight, but New York lost. Seattle lost. All the teams ahead of the Rangers except Boston in that wild card race lost. We'll talk more about that Yankees loss and to whom it came a little later on in the program. But it's really, really fun to really, with 2 months plus left in the season, have this suddenly happening, right? We're now watching the standings. And honestly, all of you that are in the chat, I love it. And what we're going to see now is people are going to, like, it's going to get their attention. Like, what? Wait, what? When did the Rangers get good? And basically, they actually basically got good about the 5th or 6th of June, maybe the 7th. Things started to turn around for this team. It was a little slow at the beginning. Really, that last road trip, 5-5, really good road trip. And then the way they've started out of the gates here, fantastic.
Yeah, Jeff kind of asked Corey Seager, do you feel a win streak coming on?
Yeah.
And maybe they're not caught up on a win streak, but they're playing a lot of good baseball. And, there's something mental to the All-Star break. I mean, Tigers, we're the best team in baseball. I mean, it seems like they can't grab a win.
They got swept by the Pirates this
after the All-Star break. So, I mean, you can momentum shift. I mean, Jock Peterson, do you have an update?
Yep, I got that's next segment. I'm updating everybody.
But there's a lot of pieces here. What the Rangers are hanging their hat on is starting pitching. CY knows the importance of pitching, knows what it does for a club, and being a long-term, playing their way into October. And Bruce Bochy is the guy that you want in this position because he knows how to manage emotion. The young guys are going to hang on to these little wins and the sweeps. I mean, there are a few new faces in the clubhouse.
Sure.
So I'm sure Cody Freeman's fired up, and it's great. I think Bochy's going to let him have his moment, but I think the theme of every soundbite that I get from a baseball player is don't get too high on the highs and too low on the lows. So they're just going to ride it in the middle, keep playing good baseball, keep their head down, hang their hat on starting pitching because it's good.
Yeah.
And then the bats, I think, I think we need to talk to a little bit more with Brett Boone to see exactly the difference. But there is a big difference since Brett Boone has joined this club.
It's team-oriented hitting, right? It's passing the baton. It sounds like it should be an easy thing to do. But Brett noticed when he got here, he kind of had to change the culture in the dugout a little bit because these guys weren't talking to each other about the game. And it seems like, you'd think, well, of course they know what they're supposed to do. But if you're not paying attention to the game, you just go up and you have your approach, and you might not be thinking about the fact that, oh my gosh, I got to move him over, right? You think it'd be second nature. Not necessarily that. And that's what Brett Boone has been preaching since he got here. It seems to be taking hold. There are so many more productive at-bats, and productive at-bats are huge. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you saw it out of Wyatt tonight too. And again, that one, what at-bat was that with Jonah? Was that Scooble? It was Scooble.
Oh, yeah, the other night. Yeah.
What I'm referring to is like, what, a 9?
Yeah, 11. Dave Raymond was talking about it today. I think 11. It was an 11-pitch at-bat.
11-pitch at-bat, and then drew the walk. I mean, that's something that Jonah Heim would not have done before. And if you can get that out of every single person, CY's default is the best improvement is internal improvement too. You know these guys are capable of it, but it's just a reminder.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because Dave was talking about that today in regards to his social media accounts, and our guys weren't working that game. Remember, it was ESPN, and so he just typed on Twitter or one of them after that at bat, feisty. And I think it might have been he didn't walk, but yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
he didn't walk. He struck out.
He did,
and that's what it was. So he put feisty, and then. Most people, he said, liked it, and they were good, 90% of people. But he said, I had a few, and they had to come at me and say, we're celebrating strikeouts now. Sometimes
reigning Cy
a
Young
strikeout, yeah, that's the thing. It wasn't just a strikeout. And he got him out of the game. He was out of the game after Jonah Heim's at-bat. So it was a productive at-bat, even with a strikeout. Nobody likes strikeouts. Least of all us. But
if someone wants to fact check this in the chat, Lexi Maddox, daughter of pitching coach Mike Maddox, said, was that a combined 100-pitch game? And I'm interested.
Yeah.
Somebody wants to fact check that while we're chit-chatting.
Ryan may be able to get to that too.
That would be efficiency.
Yeah, because pitch
wow.
It is. Yeah, look at Ryan's math is so good. So anyway, and that's the other thing when we're talking about how did we get here, pitching. The Rangers wouldn't even have been in this race to be in this position if it weren't
they didn't
for
have
pitching.
The starting pitching.
Right.
I don't want to know
just
that reality.
Yeah, it's without the offense at the beginning of the year. If they'd had suspect or poor starting pitching, they'd have been buried long ago, and we would not be talking about the possibility of making trades to improve this team. That's something that looks like it now is becoming a possibility. The pitching has been so good. The bullpen has been good. Everybody acknowledges, especially now with the loss of Chris Martin, at least for 4 weeks. I talked to Chris today. We'll talk more about that conversation coming up next. But with him gone, it may put even more of a premium on getting another relief pitcher. However, as we saw today, they've added one from the injured list named Jon Gray. He's going to do nothing but get better and better in that role. He'll thrive. We saw him thrive in that role in 2023, right? Mm-hmm. He can be a great starter. But Mike Bassick talked about it tonight, and he talks about it a lot. When you're a relief pitcher and you're only having to throw 15 or 16 pitches in a 2-inning stint, my gosh, you can rely on that wipeout slider that you have, right? Yeah. And then the fastball. I mean, you can be a 2-pitch guy in those situations. And when you've got that slider that Jon Gray has, there's plenty of people. There's plenty of people in the organization who tell you that he has the best stuff on the team.
No, I wholeheartedly back that comment 100%.
Yeah. So pitching has been the key to all of it. Hitting and timely hitting has certainly been big of late because, again, tonight, just a 2-1 win. I actually liked the fact that the previous 2 nights, they were all close. All 3 of these games against the A's were close until late. The last 2 games, the Rangers kind of blew it open later in the game. Tonight, they didn't blow it open. Tonight, they didn't need to. Thank goodness. They now have a streak going. It's tied for the record in the franchise. Not since 1983 have the Rangers had 7 straight games where they allowed the opponent 2 runs or less. They have now tied that record. If they can hold the Braves under 2 runs on Friday night, they get to 8. They set a record. This is really good stuff, and again, speaks right back to that pitching. Yeah, it does. So
I don't know if we mentioned the roster move that got Jon Gray here. So Luke Jackson.
Yeah, we'll get to that next.
Gotcha.
It's in the next segment. We've got it all coming up. Everything that happened today coming next on the DLLS Rangers podcast. But coming now is game time. My friend Nicole reached out to me today, and she told me, man, the big show in these parts right now is gin. And I'm like,
what?
Gin and tonic? And no, it's gin. J, not G, J-I-N. Well, she didn't need to tell me because, our studios are right here by the American Airlines Center. So when I got to work tonight, came from the ballpark.
The traffic?
Oh, my goodness. There was a lot of traffic. There was a lot of foot traffic. And got to be honest with you, since I don't actually speak to Nicole very often, she just sends me emails. I had to ask Abs here, what's gin? And apparently it's one of those K-pop bands. So good for gin, because there were a lot. You didn't know either, Ryan? Okay. Good for gin, J-I-N. And good for Nicole for letting me know. You need to get these emails from Nicole, too, to know where you can buy tickets for which teams, which games, which concerts, which shows. GameTime.com, $20 off your first purchase code, DLLS.
All the things. I think we should maybe celebrate a little more often here.
Okay.
At DLLS.
Yeah.
We just sent Clarence Hill to training camp.
Yeah.
We've got a few exciting things on the books, and I feel like we could use a Rugged Road cooler to bring along to this.
Well, and again, we got one. We need more.
We need more.
We need one for the road.
Because we need food and snacks, beverages, all the things. Rugged Road is our go-to. It is reliable. It is durable. It's lightweight, so they say. Do you think Jeff is going to pack it full when he's taking it to his kids?
There's no question.
What's he got on Rugged Road?
Well, he's going to put a lot of Gatorade, got to hydrate, and water. Got to keep those kids hydrated.
Got to hydrate.
Yeah.
PBJs.
Yeah, got to put PBJs
PBJ
in there. And then don't you have to make sure there's something fun to celebrate wins at, like Capri Suns or...
Oh, you're going that route.
Something. No, not for the dads.
Oh,
no. Well, that may be in there
for the
too.
kids, we'll go Capri
That may
Sun.
be in there too, but you kind of hide that in the bottom.
We'll keep your Rugged Roads stacked. Use the code DLLS. You get, is that 10% off? My little eyes can't see. 10%. 10% off. 10. Rugged Road coolers. Check it out today.
Yeah. So as Ab mentioned, busy day today. Jon Gray was recalled from the injured list, and to make room for him, Luke Jackson was designated for assignment. It's a and I really like Luke. I liked Luke the last time he was here. But it's a performance-based industry, and we continued to see Luke's performance kind of fade, right? He'd been moved out of that closer role. The Rangers were feeling less and less confident with him. And the word I was told today around there too is that, it's still a business. And there were a couple of incentives built into his contract that he signed that could save the Rangers possibly over $1 million, which, is huge right now when they're trying to, keep their powder dry and make sure they have enough money to try and make some acquisitions here at the trade deadline without going over that luxury tax threshold of $241 million. So, that's the reality of it. And we wish nothing but the best for Luke. But the reality is he wasn't, he wasn't the same guy he was even at the beginning of the year, right? He was just not quite as effective. And clearly the Rangers thought dispensable.
There's only room for 177 in this town.
Okay.
And he left.
He's gone. What do we got? Yeah.
He left.
Yeah.
So there's no need to have 77 on any playing surface in Dallas.
You think they should retire the number on all teams? No Cowboys. No Cowboys lineman can wear 77.
But, yeah, I mean, when you've got a 4+ ERA and 5 losses and your WAR is in the negative, I think that's worth saving $1 million or so.
Yeah.
And, the Rangers probably need to start looking creatively if they don't want to spend a lot of money, which ahead of the trade deadline. I mean, you hope a bit more, but I think making room where you can. You know? And this was, I mean, especially with Jon Gray. Is he going to be the setup guy? Is he going to be, I think his position, it sounds like he's ready to go wherever, but I'm interested to see what he evolves into this season, because I think Jon Gray could be pretty lethal out of the pen, especially in those high leverage situations with those 2 pitches, especially that.
Yeah, there's an outside chance that Jon Gray could become a guy who is even your, at least in the short term, even your replacement, your fill-in for Chris Martin, right? That setup guy, that 8th inning guy. Speaking of Chris, I talked to him at length today, and like me, he was surprised when he heard that it was a 4 to 6 week injury. He said he's only known 2 players, 2 of his former teammates who had calf strains before, and that they were 3-week injuries. And so he wasn't expecting 4 to 6. Right now, he personally is hoping and expecting 4, but he acknowledged kind of at the end of our conversation, I said, well, dude, you are 39. He goes,
right.
Yeah, I told people that. They asked me, what's it like to pitch when you're 39? He said, oh, the arm's fine. It's just when you get hurt, it takes longer to heal.
Right.
And it's just a reality of the body, right? When you are in your 20s, it seems like you heal, especially those muscle injuries and stuff like that. They heal quickly. Not so much when you're 39 years old. Chris was saying that he felt like when he landed his left foot on the mound, there's a little hole right there, and his spike got caught in it, and his ankle kind of twisted over, and his calf took the brunt. Yeah, took the brunt. But here's the deal: it's a grade 3 strain. And I said to him, 4's the worst, I guess. He goes, 4 is a tear that's torn from the bone. So it's a pretty bad one.
It is.
He threw today, though. He came out. He worked out with the guys today. He's not going to be doing any running or even any strenuous walking for a minute, but he's hopeful.
Yeah, and Boch said it best. When you lose your setup guy, especially a veteran, with his resume, it notice it. So to me, I mean, Jon Gray's coming at a dandy good time.
Yeah,
because Jon Gray has the years of experience.
And he's got a mentality. He's a pretty level-headed. He's a fun guy, but he's pretty like this, a little bit like Chris Martin. And when you're also an experienced veteran, it's a little easier not to let things sort of get you. And I believe that is who Jon Gray is. Another update would be on one Kyle Higashioka. So today, Kyle was just set down. They just said, you know what, we're going to give you a day. Yesterday, he had to come out of the game because he had some hamstring tightness. And, you hate to hear about a hammy this time of year, and especially as well as Higgy's been hitting the ball. So, and really as good as he is behind the plate, too. So, but we find out today it's not a grade 3, Abs. It's not a grade 2. It's not a grade 1. And you're like, then why did he sit out? It's a half. I didn't even know there was a half, right? It's a 1/2 of grade of the strain.
Half of a
yeah, 1/2 of 1. So anyway,
so is
thank God it's not
good,
3/4.
Good, bad? Like, how do you?
So a half is, I mean, obviously a half is if 1 is the least severe.
Is that a real thing? Half.
If Bruce Bochy said it, Abs, it's real. Who knows if it's real? I've never heard of it before. I think, though, that the point simply is it isn't that bad. Now,
that bad.
There's a day off tomorrow, and they'll reevaluate it on Friday, right? And if they have to, they will make a move. As it was today, we saw our good friend Cody Freeman, who caught 138 games in the minor leagues, by the way. And Cody Freeman was walking around the clubhouse with shin guards on and a catcher's mitt. And we, briefly tried to stop him to ask him. And he said, yep, getting back into it, or, something along those lines. But Boch said that he caught a bullpen from Kumar today. And it was basically just to knock the cobwebs off and get him catching again. Remember that catching is a hell of a lot more than just catching the ball or even framing the ball. There's that whole game planning part of it that is so huge, and it's why it's really difficult to just throw a guy into it, and
Right.
they'll try to ease Cody into it if they need him to do that. But the sense here is if Kyle Higashioka has to go out on the injured list, somebody else will be brought in.
Right. And, I kind of talked to Boch about this. When you have a guy that you just called up and there's a spot, 10 times out of 10, I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like SpongeBob, I'm ready.
I'm ready. Yeah.
So I
like that attitude.
I asked Boch, and you love it, but there's, I think, also taking it a step further, being a professional athlete, you got to know, yes, I can really do this. So I asked Boch, how do you manage that? When you see a hungry rookie that just wants his opportunity, how do you truthfully acknowledge, yes, he's ready, or no, he's not? And I, like we saw Cody Freeman with Corey Ragsdale, and he's getting some one-on-one coaching with covering first base because that's something he's done a little bit, but not maybe enough to be in a Major League Baseball game at that position. So he's versatile.
Especially not in a pennant race or a wild card race, as it were, but hopefully, ultimately, a pennant race.
Yeah,
right.
And he's versatile. He can do it, but if maybe you have somebody else that you can bring in,
yeah, you need to. You can't have a guy learning how to do this at the big league, right? You learn how. And again, 138 games. He's learned a lot, but you learn at the minor league level. Again, you can learn if you're in the White Sox organization, you're in the Rockies organization, the Pirates, the Nationals.
maybe the A's.
But right now, with what the Rangers are doing and what they hope to do and expect to do down the stretch, sorry, but we ain't got time to teach you at the big league level.
Yeah,
right? At the big league level, you got to perform, or we got to bring somebody in who can. And that's not to say Cody Freeman would be out anyway. He may be here in the other roles that he's already begun to establish himself in.
Jeff would. I mean, he's not. Sam Huff.
Sam Huff. Yeah, bring Sam Huff.
But
back.
Catchers are important. I think.
Yeah.
I think it's hardest position.
Oh,
play.
by far. It's a thankless position too. All right, Nathan Eovaldi's going to pitch on Friday, and again, it seems like there's a narrative on social media that the Rangers are always lying about who is going to start. Look, they aren't lying, right? They're trying to, they have to check with Evo. How do you feel today? How do you feel today? How do you feel today? They felt like he was a possibility for today as of Monday when we talked to Chris Young, and then he just wasn't quite there yet, but he wants to pitch Friday. He plans to pitch Friday. Obviously, there could be a setback tomorrow or Friday morning, and if there is, he won't pitch Friday. They're not going to send a guy out there whose back is even a little bit tight, a guy in his mid-30s. They're just not going to do that. So the plan right now is for Nathan Eovaldi to start on Friday, and that leads to the pitching rotation for this series against the Atlanta Braves. And I believe it's really shaping up to be exciting, right?
Are you saying a sweep?
Yeah, well, I don't know about a sweep there, but I'll take 2 out of 3, right? And even if it was 1 out of 3, they'd still finish with that 7-3 record or 6-3 record on the 9-game homestand. But we're not rooting for that by any means. But how about this? Though Eovaldi and then Rocker, who's been pitching so well, and Leiter, who was great last time out. I'll take my chances with really any one of those guys in their situations. Rocker's 5.66 is ballooned from the beginning of the year. If we broke that thing down in the last 4 or 5 starts, it's nowhere near that.
Yeah. I like the Rangers' chances, and I'm going 2 out of 3. I'm maybe taking Evo and Leiter, but I could.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Could see it.
No, look, they're not gonna keep winning them all. They're not gonna keep sweeping. The reality is, what they're trying to do is win series. If they win games and then win series, and
that good days,
and they will win them in any way, as it seems right now, in any way necessary, like a drop, or really wasn't dropped, but a pop-up that fell between 2 fielders, and a guy scored all the way from first base. Fantastic hustle by Wyatt Langford on the play. It was so much fun to see him do that, and so much fun to see the joy in his face when he hopped up. So we've got a couple of other things to talk about from the Rangers today, and we get to our other baseball segment coming up next. It's all next. It's the DLLS Rangers podcast. And have you been hearing about our sale? It's not really a sale, but it's new shirts, and they're really cool. It is our Texas collection of shirts. Am I saying that right, Abs? You know.
Dallas collection.
It's our Dallas collection of shirts. So they're fantastic. They've got the one that's got Nolan, punching up on Robin Ventura, digitally remembered forever. And there's, the one that's Texas versus all y'all. And there's the one that has the picture that would remind you of an old-fashioned pit barbecue place. They're really cool shirts, really cool designs. Store.allcitynetwork.com is the place to go to get them. And they have tons of other shirts, too, for all of our teams. The Finnish Mafia shirt for the Stars.
That really popped off.
That's suckers worldwide. It's all over Finland, obviously. So store.allcitynetwork.com is the place to go. Get all the merchandise we have available at DLLS.
While you're there, go ahead and sign up to be a diehard because we have a special offer. For just $36, you can get all of the content. It is top-notch quality content written by some of the best writers that have covered these sports for years. Training camp is here, so we're going to have the diehard deal. $36 for the entire year. That's $3 a month for full access team coverage. You get a free shirt. You get merchandise, a Discord. You can get discount on the events that we have. We did a super cool watch along during a few playoff games this season. So join today with alldlls.com and become a diehard, because then you can chit chat, ask any questions. Jeff writes the best articles. I love reading Jeff's articles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's one of the more informed writers, I think, that covered the team, and they're all great, but we love Jeff a lot. So check out alldls.com.
All right, cleaning up on the Rangers first. A.J. Russell, the second-round draft pick, was introduced to the media today. He's the right-handed pitcher out of Tennessee. He's removed now. He's had a chance to get back on the mound after having had Tommy John surgery. I believe he had the internal brace procedure done, and he feels great, and he's ready to go. He's heading straight to Arizona. My favorite part, I tweeted this out, my favorite part was his parents were there and his sister, and watching his dad. His dad's holding the phone for the whole press conference like this.
Like he can't get a copy?
I mean, I can't believe what the hell is happening. He was so proud and so happy. I went up to him afterwards and I said, dude, I just know. I was watching you more than I was watching him. I know what a dad feels like in that situation. So congratulations to the Russell family. One of the questions I asked him was, hey, you realize, I know you do, there are two pitchers in this rotation that aren't too far removed from college, right?
Yeah.
This is a quicker way to the big leagues if you've had success at the college. Not that he's been, what Rocker and Leiter were in college, but Tennessee, pretty good program.
Well, Tennessee, the Vandy boys.
Yep.
A whole lot of Tennessee love.
Yeah.
But slight look of a little Jacob deGrom with the flow.
He does. Yeah, he's got that flow behind there. And, hey, if he can throw anything like Jacob deGrom, we're going to be happy, aren't we?
Jacob deGrom will take it.
But even if you just have hair like him, that's also a good thing. So anyway, A.J. Russell, welcome aboard.
Signed for $2.6 million.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a good signing bonus. He'll be fun to watch as he tries to make his way to the big leagues like a couple of college pitchers from Tennessee before him. Damn Astros, we mentioned it earlier. They sweep the Diamondbacks. What the ever-loving hell? Even MLB.com in their headline says something like undermanned Astros, sweep Diamondbacks. Undermanned Astros sweep D-backs and claim a share of the best record in baseball. It's just unbelievable. They keep losing players, and they keep winning. And good for them and good for their fans, but come on. Give a team a break. Yeah, they have
Ooh,
5 starting position players down because of injuries. 5. That's the majority. So
Well,
crazy.
here's another fun thing. Could it be Suarez's last home game as a D-back?
Ooh.
Good one.
Yeah.
Because they Arizona has a 9-game road trip following an off day.
Okay.
And he is
Yeah.
atop the list
Oh, yeah.
on the trade deadline.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And again, somebody's going to have to offer a lot, right? You're not getting him for a bargain.
42 home runs in his last 130 games.
Wow. Wow. That's fantastic. Speaking of long stretches without or with something, the Colorado Rockies were part of a shutout today, pitched a shutout. They shut the opponent out today. It's the first time they've shut any team out in 220 games. May the 15th of 2024 was the last time the Colorado Rockies were able to shut out their opponent. So 200, I read that 220. When does that go back to? Just a little over a year. It makes sense. They play 162 in a year, but pretty crazy.
Well, it's not like they have postseason games.
No, that's right. Yeah, it's 162 and done.
I was thinking about Cody Freeman because his brother is with the Rockies.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you're his brother, you're pissed. Like,
luck of the draw, man.
Why does Cody get the Rangers?
Yeah.
You know? Obviously, they're grateful to be playing in Major League Baseball. But, I mean, if I had to pick, I'm going to pick the Rangers.
Yeah, no doubt, especially at this time. But you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what.
Oh, I think we know.
The relative fortunes of either team. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. This team has
You're normally
Chris
glass
Young.
Half full. Yeah, I think we know.
Yeah. Bryce Harper hit his 350th career home run today. That's just he's the youngest active player to that plateau. His career is just amazing. You know, he burst onto the scene with all that piss and vinegar, and he angered everybody in that Nationals organization, and especially the veterans, and he damn near got in fights with guys on his own team. And then he grew, and he was always great.
Yeah.
And he continued to grow and continue to grow up. And now this man is beloved in Philadelphia. I think beloved.
Philly is a great place for Bryce Harper.
I agree.
Because that fan base is hostile and insane. That's hilarious. Also, Justin Verlander got his 263rd career win today. 37 from 300. Will he ever get to 300?
Yeah, the way things are going for him, it seems like not. I mean, it's, the way things are going, it seems like that's a 3-year effort, maybe 4.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's got that in him. By the way, he did beat the Braves today. So there you go. The Braves,
Justin.
I don't know if they have a game.
He's not, was he what was his record before?
I don't know if he has 2 wins,
I was about to
maybe.
say, is this?
Yeah.
This might be his second win.
Yeah. So, I don't know if the Braves play tomorrow, but they're coming in leaking oil, which is okay by us because the Rangers can
take advantage,
pounce on them when they get here. So, yeah, Justin Verlander, it's time, buddy. It's time, JV.
Who's going to retire first, Justin Verlander or Max Scherzer?
Yeah,
my money is on JV.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Scherzer seems to be a little more hard-headed about their
strikeout chase.
Yeah, the whole thing. The whole, I want to stay longer than you. You want to, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, speaking of the team they were both with at first, the Tigers, they have sucked since the All-Star break. They really have. They just got swept by the Pirates. Of course, the Rangers took 2 out of 3 from them. They can't score runs. Other than Tarek Skubal, they haven't shown a propensity for great pitching throughout the course of this year. Not a great rotation. They've been beating teams to death, and they aren't scoring right now. And so, boom, there you go. You've lost 5 out of the last 6 when you come back from the break.
The movie Freaky Friday, they opened up with the Rangers.
There's a little Freaky Friday thing going on. It's interesting because a year ago, the Tigers were pretty abysmal until the All-Star, really until the trade deadline, and then they sold a little bit, minor sales, as they sent Andrew Chafin and the catcher here. Yeah, Carson
Great
Kelly.
Guys.
And anyway,
Carson Kelly.
now here they are approaching the trade deadline, and they've been great. And they may be going the other way. Who knows? We'll see. They're probably better than, they're no doubt better than what they've shown, but probably not quite as good as they were when they raced out to those 60 wins before anybody else. So interesting to keep an eye on that. The Blue Jays just love beating the Yankees. They did it again today, despite the fact that Aaron Judge hit his 37th home run of the season today. Blue Jays came back to win it, I think in a walk-off, but either way, they came from behind to win this game, and they take the series. Remember, they swept them, the Yankees, just before the break. So, man, the Blue Jays have just been owning the Yankees, and their lead, it's 4 games, but their lead in the East is as large as it's been all season.
Well, it's going to be fun because they're going to play them again for a 3-game set in the Bronx first week in September.
Okay.
And let me tell you, I do really like October baseball. I really like September baseball.
Not better than October.
No, but it's pretty.
Well, it is.
Fun. Very unpredictable.
And look, I've said it a bunch of times on the show. I'm angry that it's not Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox, Yankees. All their East opponents should populate the entire schedule in September. And in the Rangers' case, it should be each of their divisional foes populating the schedule in September. The Rangers should not finish with Minnesota and Cleveland. And I think Miami might be in the last month, too. That's silly. I hate that. But anyway, they don't ask me about the schedule, so I just spout off about it whenever I get the opportunity.
They don't ask you about the schedule here. Why we have an
That's right.
show tomorrow.
That's right. So, and then Shohei hit a home run today. Surprise, surprise. 5 straight games with a home run for Shohei Ohtani. No Dodger has ever done that. Think about that. Nobody in the Dodgers organization history has ever hit home runs in 5 straight games.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing. Shohei Ohtani just continues
you were gonna say,
to amaze us.
No Dodger pitcher.
Yeah, that's
Obviously.
right. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, no Dodger at all has ever hit a home run in 5 straight games. Shohei Ohtani did that today. The Rangers, again, great job today, tonight, as it were, as they sweep the Oakland Athletics, whatever the heck they're called, just the Athletics, I guess. But they get the sweep, and now they stay home, move on after an off day, which will be nice at home. They move on to the Atlanta Braves. And, let's just see if they can keep this thing rolling, Abs, because if they do, if they finish this, finish the homestand 8-1, 7-2,
that's good.
right?
That's
You're
good,
feeling awfully good about yourself. Then you go to 2 more divisional opponents on the road, the Angels and the Mariners.
Yeah,
and by the way, that
series.
Mariners game 1 of that Mariners series is trade deadline day. So, what will the Rangers be doing? I believe adding, and I think adding a little bit more than the Carson Kellys and Andrew Chafin's, or as Jeff likes to call Chafin.
Hey, don't talk about my brother like that.
As Jeff likes to call Chafin, Yosemite Sam. Just let that Jeff.
I haven't heard Jeff say that.
Slides that zinger in there. I like Chafin. I like him. Anyway.
Carson.
Carson Kelly's done a great job. He's done a great job. It's worked out just fine for him the way he went. Rangers get their 5th sweep of the season with the sweep of the West Sacramento Athletics. And how about this? They score runs late again. 41 of them now in the 7th inning or later. That's 5th in Major League Baseball for the last month, since June the 24th. So that's going to do it for us. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Tomorrow, we're going to be back here at 1 o'clock. Abs and I, we got lots to talk about with regard to baseball, with regard to the trade deadline. We're going to get into a lot more about that and what the Rangers could do and what the Rangers should do. I did see somebody asked earlier about the Jeff Passan article that the Rangers could be trading Adolis Garcia to the Phillies. So we'll dive into that. I think it's a possibility. And yet, even if they do that, I still think the Rangers are going to be buyers. So Let's get into that tomorrow as we talk Ranger baseball with you every day. Tomorrow it's at 1 o'clock. Thanks for hanging out with us late tonight. Rangers win it by a final of 2-1 over the Athletics tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock for another edition of the DLLS Rangers podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.